In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the fuel pump and the strainer on this Toyota 4Runner. Let's get into it. We're going to disconnect the battery, the negative terminal, use a 10mm wrench, loosen up the nut, and slide it off and out of the way. Underneath the shield, I am going to support this. We're using a transmission jack and a gas tank support. Now we'll take the shield down. Now we're going to remove the bolts for the cover. There's a bolt here on the back. There's another one on the side. There's a few on the front, and then on the opposite side there's another bolt. They're all different sizes. This first one, we're going to use a 12mm socket. Take that out. This bolt right here, I'm going to use a 14mm socket for that. There's a little ground strap right here. Use an 8mm bolt, take that one off. Our ground strap is broken, so I'm not going to take that off. Then there's a bolt here and a bolt up here. The two outer ones, use a 13mm socket, take those two out. Slide that off. This one in the back, use an 8mm socket, take this one off. There's a bracket right here. It's pretty rusted on this vehicle. If yours is still in good shape, you want to take the bolt out from up top. You're going to use a 12mm socket. Just get in there, take that bolt out, and that will separate right there and there. Now I'm going to lower this down. Shield comes right down. Slide that down and out of the way. Up front here, the line is clipped in. I'm going to use a straight blade screwdriver. Just loosen up the clip. It holds this on. Just kind of slides out. Pull that over. You're going to lose some fuel. Be careful. Might want to wear some safety glasses. Now we're going to take this line off right here. There happens to be a hose clamp on here, so we're going to loosen that up just with a straight blade screwdriver. Slide that down, and there's another clamp. Just grab that, slide that down, and just using a pick, just going to get under here. Loosen the hose up. And again, you might have some fuel come out. Just have a drain bucket underneath. We have the fuel tank supported, and we're going to use a 12mm socket. Take this bolt out up front. Out. On the back, we'll take this strap down, use a 14mm socket, take this bolt out. Grab the strap, you can pull it down. On the other side of the strap, there is a pin. And if you want to take this cotter pin out, just slide that out, just with some needle nose pliers, and grab the pin. Slide the pin out, and the strap comes right down. On the back where you can see the filler neck, I'm going to remove this hose clamp. Just loosen that up. Use a 8mm socket. Move that down. That's okay like that. Just try to twist this back and forth. pull that off. That's just the filler neck right there. Now I'm just going to slightly lower the tank a little bit. There is still some stuff attached. There's still some hoses attached right above, right here. Then we can access them a little better. Now we're going to take this hose off. You can squeeze it. Might be a little bit tricky. Or if you just get in there with a pick on the other end, try to release it. There we go. Pull that off, out of the way. And we have these 3 lines we need to take off. There is some electrical connectors. Let's get these 3 lines off. I'll loosen up this worm clamp here, just using a straight blade screwdriver. Slide that off. There's another clamp. Just going to squeeze that other clamp. That other one's actually broken, so just using some needle nose pliers, taking that off, loosening it up. Just wiggle the hose back and forth and slide it off. We got 2 more. And now I'll take the other hose off. Again, loosen up the worm clamp. Grab the clamp, move that over. I'm just using some hose pliers, just wiggle this back and forth. If you have a clamp there, you want to loosen that clamp. This one's broken. Just get in there with a pick. Just get around there. Slide that off. And we got 1 more hose. This hose we're going to take off up top. It's a little bit easier to get to. Loosen up the worm clamp. Slide that worm clamp down. And there's another clamp. Just grab that. Squeeze that, slide that down. And take a pick. Just get in there, loosen it up. Just use some pliers, give it a wiggle, and get that off. There we go. And slide this off. Those are all the hoses. Now we're going to disconnect the connectors. You're going to have to reach in a little further. You can lower the tank if you need to. Be careful, there is a little bit of tension on one of these connectors. I'm going to have to go up a little bit more, but disconnect the wire and just follow it back. There we go. Disconnect that connector, just push down the tab. If you need to, you can use a pick. And grab the other connector. Tab right here. There we go. Push down on that tab and slide it up. And now we're coming down nice and slow. If you hear any creaking, just double check. Make sure you didn't forget anything. Just move the hoses from the front and the back. And we made it down. I'm gonna pop these retainers out. I'm just using needle nose pliers. Just slide that out, just so the lines will be loose. Pop that out, that's good. I'm gonna use a 8mm socket, take these bolts out. Just grab the assembly, just slide it up. Drain the fuel out. And put it in a pan. Now I'm going to use some hose clamp pliers. Take these hose clamps off. Slide those down. And just grab the pump. I'm going to slide it down and then try to slide it out. Just like that. Just work it back and forth. Take that cover off. Slide the pump off. You might have some fuel come out. Disconnect the connector. Just push down on the tab. And it slides right out. We're going to take the strainer off. I'm just going to use a trim tool. Just get underneath here. Pry up. There's a little retainer right there. Just want to pop that retainer up. That right there. Grab the strainer and just wiggle it, and it comes right out. Take the pump and the strainer. There's a little cap on here. I'm just going to pop that off. Slide that over. Push it on. And take that little retainer, and I'm just going to use a socket and just push it on, a socket that's about the same size. That should be good right there. Take the hose, put the hose on. You can take the hose clamps, slide those in place. Now slide the hose over the pipe. Take this rubber piece, line that up right there. And slide the pump in place. Just push it down a little bit. And take the connector, line the connector up. Lock it down. Give it a wiggle, make sure that's locked in place, which it is. It's good. Take the straight blade screwdriver and just tighten these down. Just get those snug. Now slide it in, same way it came out. Get it lined up. push it down, get all the bolts started. Now we'll torque these to 31 inch-pounds. And slide the clips in place, lock those in, and you're ready to go back up. Now we're going back up with the fuel tank. Let's get it lined up. Now connect the connector, line that up. And lock it in place. Make sure it's all the way locked down. There we go, that's clipped in. And the other connector. Line that up and lock it down. I'm gonna attach these lines. Get these lined up. Slide the clamp in place. Tighten it down. And just snug that down. Tighten down the clamp. And the last line, or the last line that has a clamp like this. And we'll tighten that one down. That's good. And this hose, just lock it down. That's good. Now take the filler neck, line that up, and slide that over. You might have to raise the fuel tank a little bit more. That's all the way on. Now we'll tighten down that worm clamp. Snug that down. Give it a wiggle, make sure it's tight. Slide the front hoses on. We'll tighten these down. Alright, that's good. Just slide this one in place and make sure it's locked down. Now start putting bolts in for the fuel pump, for the fuel tank. Start in the middle. Just get it started. I don't want it too tight because we might have to shift it a little bit. Slide the strap in place and put the pin through. And you want that little cotter pin. Slide that in and lock it down. That's good there. Now take the strap, get the bolt in. That started and tighten it down. I'm going to torque this bolt to 30 foot-pounds. Now I'll tighten this one down. snug that, and torque that to 22 foot-pounds. Lower the support. And slide the shield in place. Just going to use the support again. Just hold that in place. Get it lined up. Get the bolt started. And now tighten these down. And torque that to 22 foot-pounds. And on the other side, get this on, and then you should be able to torque that bolt to 22 foot-pounds. If you took this bolt out, you want to put that one back in for that bracket. 2 bolts from the front, get those started. Tighten those down. Torque those to 22 foot-pounds. If you had the ground strap right there and a bolt, you want to put that back. Put the bolt in on the side here. Tighten that down. And then you want to torque that to 22 foot-pounds. Now lower the support. Now connect the negative terminal. It's a 10. And tighten it down. And snug it up.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.